I want to share with you an experience that I had back in 2014. This was a huge moment. You see, I was struggling at that time. I was struggling with my new business that I had set up. I had just lost everything that I built. I was in a thriving career at that time, and everything just went sideways all of a sudden. I had been made redundant from a company that I loved, I cherished, I worked for them a long time. And when, I was disheartened at the same time. And the lesson I want to share here is no matter what you're going through, the struggles that you're going through, you can always overcome them. And you're going to have to strive to move forward. And I didn't give up. I said to myself, look, this happened. What I'm going to do, I'm going to reach even a bigger level. I'm going to move to another level. At that time, when I lost my job at Empower, I was there for 10 years. I'd served them, put my heart, everything into it. And after that, they decided to make me redundant back in 2014. The reason I share this with you is because many of you may be going through a similar situation right now. I know it's 2021 and we're going through a pandemic. Many people have lost their jobs. Many people have lost their income. Many people have lost their ways, etc. I've already been there back in 2014. And I remember how it felt like, the situation can get tense at the same time. And of course, we were dealing with a different kettle of fish right now, but the principles and the striving is still the same. You're still going to have to strive to overcome these challenges. And what did I do back in 2014? For 6 months, I was struggling. I set up a consultancy business. I set up a consultancy. I had all the skills from Empower. I had all the skill set. However, that was the technical skills. I didn't have the business skills in order to be in the service industry at that time. And for 6 months, I moved to London, which is the heart of England. And I always wanted to live in London and experience that. And I was going downhill. I'd been paid out from the redundancy. I was losing money. Everything I would do, everything I would touch, it would get burnt. I felt lost at that time. I was going down. And eventually I stumbled into an event. That event was the moment that changed my life. It had a significant impact on everything. It actually rewired the way I thought, my thinking process, everything. I learned how to do business in the service industry, how to serve at the highest level. And that's what I've been doing. Within 2 weeks, it made a significant difference in my life. But let me tell you the journey that I went through for 6 months. Firstly, when I set up the consultancy business, I set up the website. I went to networking events. I remember going to the first networking event ever. And everybody stood up. And they were presenting their business model to everybody. And if you've never been to a networking event, it can be a bit daunting if you've never been. And at first, because I had no clarity, you see. So what happened was I stood up and I said to them, my name, my business. And it was kind of brief, and nobody understood what I did. And at that time, that's how the pitch was, and I kept going to other networking events. I used to print cards out. Like these days, I don't even have business cards anymore. I think that they're a waste of time. You can just have it all digital now. Everything is digital. So, I used to have my business card. I used to go around, meeting people. And I used to think in my head, like I'm this big shot when I wasn't really doing much at that time. And I was struggling. The reality was I was struggling. I didn't have any clients to serve at that time. And that event made all the difference in the world. You know, why I share this with you is because a lot of people don't really understand why they should be, thinking to do a business, or thinking to even reach new levels, new heights. And for most people, it's daunting even thinking about setting up a business, because they think they don't have the funds, they don't have the backing, they don't have the support, they don't have the network, they don't have the community, they don't have the skills. But this is what Intuition Academy is there to help you do. And you see, it isn't just about all those things. Some of those things you already have and you don't even know it. The other things you can develop. Like, one of the things that I wasn't good at back then was explaining to my ideal clients what I did and how I can serve them and what problem I solved for them, and the benefits of working with me was. As soon as I gathered my head around those things, that was it. Magic happened. And I just needed to be at the right place at the right time and get the right support and guidance that I needed. You see, I worked at Empower for 10 years. Empower was a corporate organization. They taught me how to be the worker. They taught me how to do analysis, how to do, all the process maps and technical stuff. Yeah, I was really good at that, right? I knew my work inside out. I was really competent. When it came to competency, I was at the top 5 to 10 people in the company, in the organization, in the department. When it came to competency, I was a business coach within the business, right? So I knew my competency level was quite high. I was there. But when it came to doing business and stepping out of there and going on my own, I didn't have the skill sets. It's like, you go into the ring, into a boxing ring, without knowing how, without your gloves, let's say, or you go into a golf club without your golf stick, or you leave your golf gloves, something like that. It's probably I'm not the best when it comes to analogies, but just something there for you to kind of grasp on. Anyway, and that's what happened. But I needed the guidance. I got the guidance. I needed the support. It was the best investment I had made in my life. Till today, I still have lessons learned from that moment. And the possibilities are there for people. As long as you have a vision, as long as you're ready to take the leap into developing yourself and moving to the next level, challenging yourself. And when I say challenging yourself, it's not going to be easy. I always tell people, like, look, you're here, you're going to strive and you're going to struggle. You're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. Like, there's people right now. I was reading an article today, and this person was the vice president of his company. The company he used to work for, he was the vice president of that company. He posted today, and he said that today he is not the vice president anymore. Like, that company doesn't exist anymore, right? But he is doing deliveries for another organization and doing something else. And the situation put him there. Like, the situation he was in, he had to do that just to pay his mortgages, pay his bills and stuff like that, right? So sometimes you have to do what you have to do. But that doesn't mean that it stops there. That doesn't mean that you can't strive and struggle and create something for yourself. Right now, the internet is allowing people to do things that has never been possible for a lot of people. You don't even need to be tech savvy anymore to build something. You don't even need, like, technology isn't stopping you, because fair enough, automation is here. Automation is bad. A lot of people don't like automation. Many people despise it. It's taken out people's jobs. I was in it, developing these automations. I mean, I most of my career I worked as a business analyst and project manager, working in IT software development, and that's what we do. We build out these systems, so it builds automations. But the sad truth is, and this is the sad truth, that a lot of people who are in jobs, you're not going to be in these jobs because the automation is going to take your jobs away, right? However, the good thing about this is there's some good news as well. If you're ready to take the leap forward and move to the next level, right? What's going to happen is you can use these automations to your advantage. You can use these technologies to your advantage. Very similar to the technology we're using right now. If you look here right now, we're using this technology, this software. This is allowing us to reach out to so many people, broadcast this to so many people at one time, right? In the past, you would have had to do this talk separately, maybe, and I'm gonna possibly do this talk for 1 hour. It would have taken me 3 different sessions, which is 3 hours, right? This technology right now, the automation is allowing this to happen simultaneously, which is fantastic. So if you know how to use these automations to your advantage, if you know how to use technology to your advantage, that's all it is. There's so many things, like the skills required to develop a business online, or the skills required to develop a product-based business or a service business is slightly different to the skills required to just working in an organization. And that's what we can help you do if you're interested. Now, if I can do it, you can do it. Let me tell you why. You might think that you need a degree, you need all this. I didn't have any of that before. I started my career at Empower when I was just 18 years old. I was 18 years old. I spent 10 years there. I didn't have the degree then. But later on in life, I decided to challenge myself. And I decided to study something that I felt that I was interested in. And I failed miserably in science. And one of the reasons is because I didn't take one of the exams. So, during school, I missed one of the exams, and I got really bad grades in science. And that was something that always, it haunted me for a bit. It was like, what, I should have done better in science. And I was really interested in science. So what I did, I went to do a degree in environmental science, and I did it in the Open University while I was still working. So that shows the possibilities of if you're willing to do something, that you can do it. Not only that, I've also studied other things which I have an interest in. And if I can do it, you can do it. And that shows, because people like me, people like me, who grew up in an urban environment, who didn't have much to start with, and all these things. Like when you start having things, it's like you've already been through the worst that you can go through. So it's only going to get better. You can't go any. We started from nothing. Like people like me, people in our communities and stuff like that. So when it comes to these challenges, it's still challenging, but for us to deal with it, it's like we're kind of relaxed about it. It's because of that. But that comfort and that comfort zone can also be your progress killer. Now, the number one thing that I find that's killing people's progress and helping them move to the next level is self-doubt. They don't believe in themselves enough that they can do it. And to be honest, all you really need is a support network. All you really need is some guidance, some support, and if you have a vision, you can really accomplish it. You can really get there. And now I'm going to share with you something on the screen, which is why you should consider building a business or developing a business. Although it's going to sound difficult and it's going to sound really complicated, but once you hit it, once you start reaching your goals and stuff like that, you will understand that it is really worth it. If we go to the top slide, please. Yeah, that one. Now, this is my trip to America. And I want to share this with you because there is some significance here. You see, I went to America in 2019, and I was out there for a couple of weeks out there. And during that time, I hired this vehicle here. This car, for those of you who are not aware, this is a Mustang GT. I always wanted to drive one of these cars. And I thought, okay, while I'm out there, I'm going to, chill out a bit. And I went out there for a business trip, which was the whole purpose, was a business trip. But the thing is, do you know who paid for this car and who paid for my trip? I didn't pay for it. My business paid for it. You understand? So you see, if we move to the next slide, you see this next slide here, you see, again, I had another car. You can see here, it was another car. I was at this event, my mentors and stuff like that, they're all there. And you can see I had another vehicle there, and my business paid for that as well. So, once you start, we can stop this share now. So the point I'm trying to make is, once you start really making money in your business, and, although it's going to be difficult at the beginning, you can have a lifestyle that not many people will be able to have. You need to spend 3 to 5 years, grinding away, moving to the next level in order to live an extraordinary life. Be unordinary for the 3 to 5 years to live an extraordinary life for the rest of your life, right? That's the sort of things, the possibilities that can happen, that is available if you decide to be an entrepreneur, if you decide to build something. And I'm going to tell you straight, like, it's not going to be easy. Like, there are technologies, there are everything there, but you don't know what you don't know. And that's all I have to say. Like, you don't know what you don't know. Like, you don't know what you're getting into, So what we do at Intuition, we can help you break all those barriers that are going to stop you from seeing momentum, from building the momentum, and from taking you to the next level, holding your hand all the way through, and then taking you to the next level. So hopefully that has been inspiring for you. And we're doing our launch in the next few weeks, so look out for that. Follow this page, guys, and keep a lookout for that. There's going to be a link, and if anybody wants to book a strategy session with me, you can also book a strategy session with me. Let's see what your goals are, what your vision is, etc., and we can take things from there. Like, you can find it on the Facebook page, you can find it on our website, intuitionacademy.co. And some of my business partners are there as well. So if you want to speak to them as well, they're available to speak to. So hopefully this has been valuable for you. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. And we'll see you next week on next week's show.